This is To Wit, a podcast for women in tech doing life. I'm Melinda Smith.
And I'm Kristi Guzman.
Hi, friend.
Hello, lovely.
I feel delirious.
Why?
Because I just came straight from my trainer. And he says the other day, well, I notice you seem super tired when we do all weight, so we're going to do more conditioning. And I said, I'm super tired anytime I leave here, no matter what you do.
Are there other people who don't feel like they use up all of their life energy working?
I was like, I continually leave my body when I am there because he pushes it, and I'm doing like the hard cardio where I'm like, and there goes my spirit traveling to some ice cream shop. As I'm on this stupid bike.
So I'm having a super stereotypical womanly debate with myself about what to do with my hair.
Oh, yeah.
Do I continue maintaining my blonde highlights? Do I dye out the color of my highlights and go back to normal-ish? Do I do like a wash of one color? So that prompted me to create the getting to know you question.
Getting to know you.
What has been your favorite or most memorable for awful or some reason, like either hair color or hairstyle over the years?
Well, I will say, because apparently I'm just never happy, whatever style it's not, I am like, ooh, I like that. Like on photos, like whatever it's not in a photo, I'm like, I love that. But if you go back to that time, I loved a different style.
Right.
I have such fine hair that it's hard mix between what I think I like and what actually looks better. I had it really long and permed and highlighted for a good majority of until I was like 20.
Permed?
Yeah, because it's fine. So it looked like it had hair. It being me. And then I just chopped it once and then went dark. So it's kind of been that phase. I had it like fire engine red once, which I really, really liked, but it's really hard to maintain. I had it pixie short, which I liked, but I often had moments where I didn't feel very cute because it's so fine that it was just kind of flat on my head. Favorite. Man, I'm telling you, I probably, in high school days, I liked it longer with a curl and highlights, and I could do the Sprint. Do you remember Sprint Spray? The Aussie Sprint Spray? Mm-hmm. It was like a purple smelling, or a purple. That's a color.
It smells like purple.
Grape smelling.
No, I literally might own this right now.
Sprint Spray. Oh my God, I loved it so much.
I don't own. I think I own a Aussie spray that smells like bubble gum. But yeah, because I can scrunch my hair. I tend to do that a lot in the summer.
Yeah.
Of snooze buttoning, basically.
I do like messy. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm not the person to ask here, though I am the other person on this podcast right now. Hair is not like...
I mean, we can open up a poll and we can put a picture of you. Perm or no perm.
The lights are open. Call me now. 720-210. Oh, caller. You're on the air. No, I'm just kidding.
Perms are so bad for you.
Apparently they're back now. What do I know? But
I feel like I also had a super red phase, which again was fun, but then stripping it back out was real expensive and annoying. I had the Rachel cut when Friends was a thing, which I feel like is sort of what I'm getting back to, except like longer layers, not as choppy of layers.
You have that's good hair.
Default hair. But then I also, I don't know if I've ever told you, one time I was on stage for an image and etiquette workshop in college, and my hair was probably about as long as it is now, like past my shoulders at least. And I had to agree they could do whatever they want, right?
Oh, Lord.
They cut my hair to whatever this point is at the nape of your neck, like where your hair starts at the back, and then like an A line forward. So the front went like to right behind, I could barely get it behind my ears. And it was like, holy moly. Like it's not that it looked bad. It just was like
shocking.
A difference. Yeah. And I remember I went to visit a friend that weekend, and I feel like the whole weekend I'm just like petting my head. And then you have that phase where you put like way too much shampoo in your hand for a while because Yeah, don't adjust. So that was probably the most memorable hair cutting experience I've had. But as much as I like it blonde, I'm just cheap and lazy. And I don't like having grown out roots. So anyway, so we'll see. So clearly this has not resolved the question, but
I've been all colors but full blonde. I think I've told you before, though, like when I make it big, that'll be Rumbauer on tap at my house and quality wigs. And I mean, other things that matter to my family, house, blah, blah, blah. But I want, like, I would love to be like short platinum one day and then like long, wavy unicorn rainbow hair one day. Oh, I would love that.
I would just like to have a personal stylist to do my when I make it big.
Oh my gosh, it looks so much better when
make
they
all these
blow it out.
decisions for me. Like clothes too. Like dress me and do my hair and makeup. Somebody
Like
that cares about those things, to make me care about those things by just like I want to be famous and just show up looking like a shoe and then have people make it happen. Yeah. I was at a friend's makeup party last weekend, and it was basically one of the things she said was like, do not put makeup on your face with your hands. And I was like, how do you know me?
I only recently stopped doing that. Why is that? Is it you
I think
rub
it's just
it
the
in?
bacteria and oils and such. But yeah, I definitely, it's like, eyeshadow, boop, 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 boop. Like that's, so yeah, except for lotion. Even like liquid foundation. So who knows? We'll see. I'm not yet on the train, but maybe I'll grow up a little bit with my makeup and hairstyling.
When you make it big, you'll get your own stylist.
That would be awesome.
Makeup is something I love, but now that I work from home, I don't do every day. But I love, like, if you looked at my suggested feed stuff in Instagram, it's like makeup tutorial, meme, workout stuff. Makeup tutorial, meme, GIF, Kermit. Like Kermit meme.
That's funny because there's this website called Blog Lovin', and I started using it to try and organize all the Salesforce blogs I was trying to follow, except it's definitely not geared toward tech blogs. So, like, it sends me, like, you might like blah, 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 and it's literally, like, makeup and home styling and, like, cooking. And I'm like, you don't get me at all. Like, this is not... Like, I literally gave you,
Where's your Einstein?
Yeah, Salesforce sidekick. And, like, you came back with, no makeup tutorials.
They clearly do not have any AI working for them.
Yeah, seriously. Like, yes, stop.
So now that we've completely bored any ally listening.
Bored? That was a good one. I'd like to just call you right out on your shit, too. Oh, yep. There's our explicit tag for the day.
Only one. There'll only be one.
Just get that done early. So then just accept it. Did we cuss on Tony's episode even?
No. Oh my God, no. No, there was no drinking, no cussing. Like, we hardly showed up. Like, you and I were just nervous Nellies.
Oh, we showed up. It was great. No, I got lots of lovely messages from people. And we got a shout out on Ootpod. Did you hear it?
I have not, as usual. I haven't listened to any podcasts.
Yeah, they did a whole episode talking about interesting things about diversity.
Aww.
One of these things.
Oh, speaking of, I know this is on topics, but Michael Mulfelder, how do you say your boss's name? Mulfelder. Dude, he is awesome. So I ran into him at 5280 Daydreamin, and just, of course, anytime I see a Map Anything person, I'm just like, oh my God, you know Kristi? She is my PIC. We do the podcast together. And so he gave me his card, and we got to chatting about the merger with IBM and Blue Wolf. And, we talked about how a lot of times the mergers go well, but, a lot of times they don't. And he was really sweet. And he's like, we're always looking for great people. Here's my card, if anything comes up. So as we were on one of our witness success calls and, talking about sponsors, we're real close to our meeting our dollars. And I thought, oh my gosh, I should reach out to Mike. Why not? I made a connection. So I just called. Yeah, I was going to email, and I was like, nope, we're too close to the deadline. So I just called his cell phone. He called me back. And I teased him because the last four of his cell phone is 1234. And I was like, I almost thought maybe you gave me a fake number. He's like, yeah, no, I've had it for like 30 years. So anyways, as we're talking, not only is he super receptive to, send me the sponsorship deck, he tells me about what an ally he is and how, like, if he were to take a new role, he always looked at the board, and if it was all men or no persons of color, like, he wasn't interested. And, talking around the dinner table about being an ally, and he intends to come anyways. And I was like, I might love you. He's a super nice guy. And I was like, thank you so much. He's like, well, don't thank me yet. We haven't, sponsored any monies. And I said, well, money aside, I still like you.
Right? I love that it's like getting a text message. I just met your boss and he's great. And I was like, my boss is here today, so I don't know who you met. And I was like, oh, my boss's boss. Yeah, that guy. He
real
was
nice.
there. So yeah, that was fun. He is a Boston fan. So he is surprisingly friendly, though. You might think stereotypical, doesn't want to talk to anybody Boston guy.
I love me, the East Coaster. So
he does use Patriots references in some of his sales inspirational comments, but
anyway, so yeah, that was my little derailment about how great he was.
He's great. I like him a lot, which is good, because otherwise we'd have to cut this whole part out, because there's a possible slim chance he might listen to it.
So when I gotta quit moving around. Sorry, my levels. I'm sitting on the floor. Apparently I have no filter today. I'm just going to tell you everything that's going through my mind. And then, so we have a list of topics that we kind of always pop in and out of, but we have talked before about reading more, and I'm trying to make the time for it. And we talked about reading in the morning, which isn't going to happen. And
let's check in about that. Nope. Hard pass.
Yeah, I'm just not. I want to get up when I want to get up. I'm not going to allot more time. Since we talked about it months ago, I have still not at all put aside time to meditate again. Apparently, I'm just not doing that right now.
Well, and this is interesting. So I know you're actually trying to go somewhere, and I'm just going to divert you again. Do you think that, I feel like sometimes people say, like if you really wanted to make time for it, you would. So then, like, if you're not doing it, do you really need to be doing it? But, like, I feel like maybe I do. Like, just because I'm not doing it doesn't mean I don't want to, or I didn't mean it that I did want to.
No, I don't. It's true. Well, when it comes to getting up early, I could. I just choose not to. My clock has been so changed since we moved here. It was going to bed at 9:30 very, very strictly in California, because I was up anywhere between 4:45 and 5:30. And now I just don't have to. Ollie doesn't need to be to school until 8:30-ish. So, I've been staying up a little later, getting up a little later. I made a conscious effort to go to bed earlier last night because I got sucked into a couple Netflix shows and went to bed too late. And I still, I'll wake up about 6:30 or 7, but I'm not going to jump up and read. I like that idea, but I want to
I think the goal was also, I think said that you read and fall asleep when you try and read at night. I have the alternate problem in that I don't go to sleep, so I'm not binging on Netflix. I'm reading, and then it's like 1 a.m, and I'm have to get up in a few hours, so like that was why, which I'm still doing. So like I guess it doesn't bother me that much. Although I have been better about, like, I'm gonna read a chapter and then I'm gonna go do this other adulting thing I have to do, and like decently adhering to that. I feel like
I've decided to read when Olive is watching the TV. We only have the one TV in the living room. There's like one in the guest room, but so if she's watching Smurfs, which, as you know, is on repeat in my house, or Little Einsteins, instead of playing with my phone and looking at the same 3 social media apps, like opening the fridge over and over again, I don't know what I'm looking for. And you just scroll. So I made a conscious effort to sit down and read. So I picked up Drop the Ball again, which I've been trying to read for, 6 months now.
Okay.
It's really good.
You picked up the
ball. It has
amazing.
I have dog-eared the hell out of the thing. It's got a lot of really great moments. And a book is good when you do like the laugh and nodding your head. Like, oh yeah. So there is, as I said before, it's kind of about trying to decide what's important to you and what things you can let go and what things you can delegate, and kind of how to make your life a little bit more manageable, no matter like what you're doing. It's typically focused on balance as a woman when your career is taking off, and then you marry, and then you have children. The statistic that she notes here is that even as the number of married mothers in the labor force has soared from 17% in 1948 to more than 70% today, the distribution of home duties has failed to keep pace. So we still feel obligated to do all of the things, or we think that he can't do it well enough, and you got to learn, what's important. But she talks about right before this chapter of, she does a lot of speaking of like the list you'll make of what you need to get done. And I laughed because instead of a normal to-do list where it's like, pick up the dry cleaning, go to the grocery store, this list has things on it like adjust work-life balance, don't take husband for granted, find a relaxing hobby. And I laugh because I do bullshit to-do lists like that. Like, make time to meditate. Don't forget to reprioritize your budget. Like, just vague, like shit that you can't actually mark off or is not accomplishable in one day. Like, make time to paint more. Okay, like that's not a to-do list. That's like, it's so funny to read that and
self-involved peer pressure.
Yeah, right. I'm just going to, shoot myself in the foot before I get started and know that I can't actually ever accomplish that. But the exercise I wanted to say that if I don't know if, people out there want to listen, but it talks about.
I mean, they probably do. They listen this far.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna ask for homework. If you tweet about this, I want your homework. No. Trying to figure out what's important. So, we talk a lot about what's going on in our lives and what matters. And I talk a lot about, then picking up another nonprofit around here, doing some more trailhead type focused training for reentry programs. And I talked to someone at Salesforce recently about their experience with that and how to make it a little more than trailhead for all, just because their life is in a different place. So in here, it talks about figuring out what's important to you. Not that, if you ask someone what's important to you, my family, my health. Yeah, that's true. But like really get to the core of like what you want to do, break it down. And if you're struggling, so she had these 2 exercises. One is from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is basically like thinking of your eulogy. Like if people were to eulogize you, it's a little morbid, but it makes sense. What would they say about you? And this speaks to, what impression that you want to leave in this world. Like, what do you think that these people would stand up and say? Maybe a colleague, a friend, a family member. And then the second exercise is asking group of people, maybe a mentor, maybe a friend, maybe a family member, tell me about a time when you experienced me at my best.
Ooh, okay.
To kind of maybe help you think about what's important. Like for me, it's super important to me that people feel heard around me and they feel not judged, and I make them laugh, which is these kind of abstract concepts, but then you can roll it into, how can I do that? I can make people feel heard by helping teach, in the career path I'm in. I don't feel like I have misdirection right now. I feel like I'm very happy with direction in my world, but I was feeling a little rudderless without another purpose. Like, am I, what nonprofit, what am I doing to leave a mark? I love what I do and I love my friends and I love my job and all that, but like, what am I doing to make the world a better place? So I thought those exercises were kind of nice. Like, what is it that I want to do? What purpose do I want to leave? So yeah, there you go. Just get all deep on you for a sec.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've mentioned on here that I'm separated, so we're just putting that out in the world. But I think it's really interesting because I've been thinking about this because this is one of the reasons I'm getting separated. But also, like, I was just thinking about, like, what is enough? And the balance of forgiving myself that I've been meaning to send you something for like literally 2 months and it's sitting in my house staring at me, and finding the balance of like, is that okay because like it's not that big of a deal and it's just important to me, or like really should I have been able to get shit done and like send it by now, so like what is the and how you look at the overall picture of like, did I not send it because I've been doing these other 15 things, or did I not send it because I'm doing nothing, and finding that balance, which I think is what really kind of intrigues me about this. It's not saying you don't have to do any adulting and joy, but like figuring out the right balance, which I think is really inherent to a partnership in a marriage, which is, like I said, some of the challenges that I had. So feeling like I am enough, even if I'm not meeting his expectation or a standard, quote unquote.
Or yours. Like, cut yourself a break. One of the things that my mom always says to me, which still can like bring me to tears really easily, is she will just say, be gentle with yourself. Like, just stop and be gentle with yourself. And I'm like, ugh, you're right.
Yes, but also sometimes you got to kick yourself in the ass too.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what's going on in your world, for sure. I am definitely like, I overcommit. Like, I have a decluttered life. Like, I'm minimalist. I get rid of shit. We've talked about that. But I am an overcommitter. Like, yes, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I got that. No, I'm going to do this. And I never want to let anybody down. So then that tends to bleed into personal life or being stressed, because then it's like, I've got these 2 projects, but I'm also trying to do, these 14 other things, and I want to do them all with a good amount of gusto, and they don't get done.
And then read a book, and then
meditate. Right. Yeah, and then read. Yeah, but
and then talk to your spouse.
Yeah, and then it was funny. One of the passages in the book too was talking about trying to delegate what meant, like, what 5 things on your list that no one can do but you. Like, one of her examples was, I need to personally call my uncle that's going through surgery. No one can do that but me. But like the dry cleaning, anybody can pick that up. I think she has a nanny or something like that. Mm-hmm. But the funny part was, she had asked her husband to do it, and she was kind of stressed out all day about him actually getting it done. And she's like, oh great, he's not going to do it. Don't micromanage. And then like the doorbell rang, and the dry cleaner had delivered. And she's like, you deliver? He said, yeah. And she says, I've been bringing dry cleaning to you for like 3 years. How come you didn't tell me you delivered? And he says, you didn't ask. And I literally was like, oh my God, that's so true. You do. Like, Josh was home for nearly 3 weeks because the 2 planes were down. And I was like, I got to do this. I got to the grocery store. And he's like, I can go to the store for you. I was like, huh, you sure can? I'll be goddamned, you can. And it was like, this is amazing. And it was fine. And he spent less, which, like considerably less.
Well, then he clearly didn't shop hungry.
You're right. This is now your job. Yours and Amazon's.
Right? I do think it is interesting to think of, like, prior to getting separated, I had talked to my therapist about, like, finding not only like being able to ask for help with things, but finding like each other's strengths to then play off of that. And we've talked a little bit, I think, about like having a CFO of your partnership, and having like, if you hate dishes, everyone hates dishes, but that like there's certain things that maybe somebody does better than somebody else. But also that doesn't mean maybe you still don't want to do that thing right now. And even if they're going to be inefficient, you need help to do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm much better about asking for help and taking, I don't know if handouts is the right word, but taking help than, let's say, Josh is. Like, he'll, again, I'll point to the book too. She talks about, and I love the way she puts it, of building a network of people. And I used to always think, you make these connections, and I try and make a point to reach out to people and yada, yada, that I'm like, God, am I using people? Am I just trying to, what can you do for me? But it's not. You're building your own network. And she said, when I needed help, I reached out and I took it. And I do that easily. But, Josh is opposite. Like, he's got it. He doesn't need help. But there's still a difference between that and like straight up asking, I need you to do the thing.
Do you feel like this book is a reminder to you of the, like, don't sweat the small stuff? And
yeah.
It's all small stuff?
Yeah. Just, you can only do so much in one day. And those amount of things are probably going to be the same amount that I can get done in one day. But what's the difference is how much stress am I going to put on myself?
Right.
Like, am I going to stress about the 7 things that I didn't get to? Knowing that if I stress or not, they're not going to get to, like, you know what I mean? It just kind of like, take it off the plate, just chill the F out.
Yeah, but it is interesting still thinking about I do still think about things like, oh, when I get my new house, then I'll eat at home more, or then I'll blah, 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 right? Like I still am like, even by myself, putting pressure on myself. So don't sweat the small stuff.
Mm-hmm. We are our own biggest critics. Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're crickets. We're bigoted crickets. That's what we are. I would make that a show title if it didn't.
It's not okay. No.
With no context.
I feel like my argument here is I have burned far more calories than I have consumed today. Bigoted crickets. Anyways, biggest critics.
Yeah, well, sure. I feel like at some point we're going to have to start offering like solutions to these things and not just say, yep, that's a problem. That's why that lady made a book.
Yeah.
And
hey, she has exercises, okay? That's what we need to do.
Okay. Well.
Lots of dog ears.
We'll pick that back up then. We'll pick that ball up later.
Hey, don't order it. I'll just send it to you.
Oh.
With your stickers I haven't sent you yet.
But then, you won't want to keep it forever and ever?
With my dog ears?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much like taking video, not of my child, on my phone. Yeah, I'm never going to refer back to it.
Okay. Well then.
And I have this. This is our archives.
Maybe
Episode
you can
21.
just see me soon.
Well, I would be seeing you over the pond, but like I said, I have to celebrate the marriage of two people.
Well, to be fair, you have to conduct the marriage of two people.
Yeah, and actually, I've known them for a really long time, and they were supposed to get married a couple years ago, but they decided to save the money and then buy a house. Which, side note, their house is all solar power, so all they pay is like the hookup for Excel. I think it's super cool. But I was super honored. You know, I've known them since they got together, and it's going to be beautiful. They're both very close girlfriends of mine, and it's amazing. I'm a little nervous because I've never done that. So I'm like, you know, I've done toasts clearly, but like, do I talk about each girl individually about getting to know them and how long I've known Krista, and then when Erin became part of her life, and because that's how I would like to do it, is share like a personal story about how amazing they are and then how much more amazing they are together. But I was like, is that too personal? Should it be more like, I don't know. I've never done this. I've never officiated a wedding. So
I bet I know someone you can ask that to.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Oh, I mean like them. Like what kind of service do they want?
Oh, yeah. We're going to go to dinner soon. I thought I put out...
I don't have like a guru of this. I just know that they probably would be the best ones to ask what they want it to be like.
Yeah, I started putting together some of my thoughts. So I will... Well, I've known Krista forever, and I know she won't care, but I want to make sure that I don't alienate anybody, you know what I mean? If they want it to be like a 12-minute ceremony like mine, like if they'll be like, can you get on with it? And like,
marriage.
Yeah. Love, true love.
Well, I do think, you know, it's interesting to talk about partnership and the things that marriage means, especially if they've been together and now they're, you know, legitimizing their...
Long time, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was a sidebar. The point is, let's talk about you going to Ireland.
You know, I like that if we just make it a record and we put it on record that it's going to happen. I was selected to speak at Salesforce.
Yes.
Apparently, lightning layout gumshoe does not translate super well. They don't have a gumshoe concept.
To Gaelic?
Maybe they just haven't seen Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, even though it's like the whole world. So no, I'm just kidding. So I still need to finalize 100% that I can attend, and it's possible my coworker has vacation at the same time.
Do you want me to call Mike for you?
He'll just be listening to this and realize I need to go, and then it'll be fine. I like it. I mean, hey, they might need sponsorship too. You know, we'll get it from all angles. I actually had a really great conversation with Sean Holmes from TaskFeed, who leads the team, and it was really great renewal of my idea of like why we do these things. And I think especially with Salesforce, it can come across as a fun thing, and not that it's not a fun thing, but that the point. And it came up because, he talked, it's in kind of an inconvenient place in Ireland, right? You think Ireland, like, why do you do it in Dublin? But I think it was,
Well, it's Dublin's not next to the water.
well, there is that, right? And I think the surfing piece is intended to be like a bonding experience and
Oh, like
an
Trust Falls.
adventure,
I love
right?
it.
Of like let's be real, Christy is probably not going to be very good at surfing, which is fine, but like that experience plays a role. You know, like in Tahoe, like I went snowmobiling for the very first time, and you know, like I remember the people I went with, and it's a shared experience, you know, and how that plays into the networking and the, like you say, like you met my boss at an event, right? I would never have thought to introduce you to my boss's boss, like even, you know,
Yeah,
maybe at
right.
Dreamforce or whatever it might be, but you know, just like how that came up naturally because you're in these situations. And so it's so much more than just a fun thing, right? And that it's like maybe it's okay that you have to make a little effort to get there, and it's a little bit different because that's kind of the point, you know?
Well,
So
and carrying your wonderful personality and your love of Salesforce, and then it happens to be with the Map Anything logo, like that should carry a ton of weight with them. Like,
oh yeah, yeah,
do you know what I mean? That right there is enough networking in general. And I know that they see that you guys
right.
sponsor a ton, but I just, I had a hard time trying to explain that to a past company.
Well, to be fair, part of the reason I hesitate is because I'll be gone to Forcelandia in August, and then I come home and then close on my house, and then I'm going to Midwest Dreamin and then Witness Success. So don't get the idea that they don't let me go to things by any stretch. But you know, we've just got some projects going on, so it's a matter of balancing working while you travel and
Yeah.
work the back here stuff with the fun stuff, right? So yes, I am hopeful and positive and pretty sure because I want to go on a big adventure and I think it would be
Yes.
amazing. So we'll see. Knock
I
on wood.
am hopeful. So, if your company is not interested or can't, for whatever reason, pay for it, will you go anyways and try and take vacation? I know you said your colleague's on vacation, but kind of just make it happen anyways.
I think so.
Yeah, I would. We were
I
really going to make it happen. Like we were kind of figuring out our
Well, and I think
schedules
part
and
of
all
it
that, but
too, I feel like I'm a pretty typical American and that I'm completely stupid about European geography. So I would really like to make it to Scotland, and they're, you know, near each other on the map. So I've been like admitting my idiocy and asking people if that's feasible and or if I should do it, you know, because I'm technically
and if you're
Scottish.
there,
I'm a Campbell, and I just feel like I want to do that.
if you're going to
So,
make the trip, like try and roll it in. When I was in Tarbert, Scotland, which is a little fishing village in like a peninsula, oh gosh, I'm hoping to get the geography wrong. Believe it was like further north. There was the option because of where it was to take a ferry over to Ireland, but I had the choice of I had enough money to get home or get there and then try and figure out how to get home later. And I was like, and I had already rolled that dice to get to Scotland from Italy, so I was like, and I'd been gone for a few months, so I was like, I think I'm ready to go home. But now, of course, now I'm like, I should have done it, but
well,
do it.
I reached out to the user group leaders in Scotland to gauge how stupid I'm trying to be by trying to do both. So, yeah, so I like that there's just Ohana resources out there that will help me figure it out. So, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I hate to say like yes because if, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
We will
Is
see.
your passport up to date?
Yes, ma'am. Do I know where it is? I'm 98% sure.
Mine is not. Mine's still in my maiden name. I really need to do something about that. I decided the other day, just randomly, that I want like a 4 or 5 day weekend getaway with my husband to Cuba. So I was looking at tickets and I was, going through American, I don't know, one of the websites, and then it came up to a pop-up screen that was like, these are the only reasons you can go to Cuba: to visit family, da, da, da. But it didn't stop me from continuing to book. And then I was like, can I not go? So of course I texted my of Cuban descent friend. And I was like, can I go to Cuba? Am I allowed to go just because I wanna?
Yeah, they changed the rules back a little bit. So you've got to have some more legit reasons now than you did a little while ago.
Amazing photographs before it gets too commercialized. That's what I want to go for.
Yeah,
I don't think
I
they
don't
give
know
a
if
shit
that
about
counts
that.
as a reason unless you're like a journalist.
Sure.
But
I'll start an LLC for $50 if it means I can go to Cuba.
regardless of all those things, you probably still need a passport if you want to get back into the country. Mainly.
Yeah. Mine's expired. It's in my maiden name, so I got to go through all that. Plus, this new project I'm on, I might need to go to Toronto for training, and
that's a whole other country.
Now. It is now. Yeah. Back in the day, you didn't need one.
That is the only reason I've been to Europe thus far is I went on a work trip to London. So far, I mainly go Caribbean for vacation, but
for a cruise, maybe. Oh my God, do we need a passport for our cruise we're trying to
plan? Yeah, we will.
Huh?
But I mean, that you got time.
But I mean,
yeah,
here's the thing, though. You get on the boat in Miami, let's say. I don't remember checking passports when we docked into port.
Yeah. Well, no. So when you get your card from the cruise ship, you have your passport. So then that is like a substitute. Yeah, because I remember my very first cruise when I was younger, I wanted to take my passport and get a stamp. And my dad was like, no, we're going to drink on the beach. We're not taking your passport in another country. But I want a stamp. Yeah. That's why I made the Canadians stamp my passport, and they hated me. But I'm like, I need a stamp in here.
You don't understand.
Again, like lame Americans.
Real life trailhead.
Yeah. Earning back. I need to earn some stamps.
I had a whole bunch of stamps. I even had a green card because when I was an exchange student, I was there just like supposed to be there just 2 more days past when they let you. And it's a legit green little card. And they put the little sticker in there. So when I had to give up that passport, yeah, right. Well, I'm smart. I took it out. I'm sure I have it somewhere in my keepsake.
No, you probably threw it away. Let's be real.
I sure do that, don't I? I was like, I don't need this. I'm telling you, there's even more would be gone if it wasn't for my kiddo. And Josh every once in a while being like, she might want that later. I was like, she's not gonna want this. She won't care. I'm like, she might care. Stop throwing shit away. I'm like, if it's not somewhat useful, like I'll have a couple little tubs from like memorabilia or whatever, but if it's not being used or out for like viewing pleasure, it's out.
I feel like you should come pack my house for me.
Done. I'll get rid of everything though. You're gonna be like, why do I have 3 shirts and 1 chair? I decluttered your life. You're welcome.
Bye.
Hey, did you see that the MVP nominations are open for summer?
Indeed, I did.
I'm so excited. I was asking someone who may not be named. I kept sending notes like, hey, what's your blog name again? And hey, what's this? They're like, why are you asking? I'm like, you don't need to know. Don't worry about it. I just have questions about things about you. Yeah, right. Just shut it. I love this time. I love being able to write a paragraph about why I think somebody's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's a fun time to, like you say, think about the people who've had an impact in your Salesforce life that are doing great things in the community. I think it's always tough too because there are going to be people who are generally awesome who don't get awarded, right? And people that do, like it's a 50-50 shot, right? But I think it's tough because there is a little like secret sauce of the selection process. And I don't mean to say that with like such a tone, I guess, but some people have been amazing, but maybe not for very long, right? So then are they a comet that's going to burn out, or are they going to, this is a horrible analogy, be Halley's Comet and go on forever? I don't know. So I would encourage people to nominate awesome people that they think are great, but just keep in mind, like, don't be upset later or like, oh, this whole thing sucks if not everyone you nominate gets awarded.
Are we supposed to be privy to like how that's done? Should I know things? I don't know anything.
I'm a wet blanket about this process. Should you know things? I mean, so anyone can submit people. They go through a round of consolidation of details. Existing MVPs can weigh in, And then the Salesforce team weighs in, and I don't think there's any like number they're shooting for or any targets really. I think it's just a matter of, not everyone can do all the things, right? So there's people who do Answers Community, Stack Exchange, things with the App Exchange team, there's blogs and podcasts and videos. Oh my, right? So there's lots of...
This is my first round of noms since I've been one. That's why I'm like clueless.
Yeah. So, and one thing to keep in mind too, as part of the renewal process, is that MVPs get renominated / renewed as well. So we talked a little bit about that we're in the same cycle now. Typical female fashion. We're in the same cycle. Sorry. We're in our
the same thing.
Our Salesforce renewal cycle is the same, twice a year. So
twice a year would be lovely.
We continue to give and to the community and et cetera, be MVPE. And so it's not like you just get in and then you're good.
Coast.
Forever.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Scary and also good.
Again, depending on how much you're stressing yourself out about it, you're enough.
Stress about all the things.
But anyway, I don't mean to get all negative about it. But yes, I did see it's open, and I think it's great. I just think it's tough because, and you'll see too, when you reveal the nomination, somebody's like, this person helped me so much. And I want to be like, that is so wonderful. That's what all of this is about. But I've never heard of them, and that's one thing they did, and no one else,
yeah.
So then I hate that people might feel not picked,
dejected or rejected. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I love the nomination process. I love to start my little Google Excel doc and think of whoever, and then make sure that I check them off. It's a fun time. I really like it.
We'll link to the form, and people can go nominate, I want to say, till the end of the month.
August 5th, I believe.
Good, because I was making it up, so you sound much more legit.
Well, because since I have no idea of time anymore for some reason, I was like, oh my God, we only have till August 7th? That's like a week. And I was like, or like 3.
Or that's next month.
Closer to 3. Like, crazy pants. I started a new project, so I'm kind of straddling between two, and they are this is a weird segue. So the UK and Prague based, speaking of teaching, and the consultant is younger and brand new to Salesforce. So it's my role to delegate tasks to the consultant on the project. Mm-hmm. But he also doesn't know, so I'm delegating and teaching. So I reached out to my internal network at Blue Wolf today and was like, am I doing this right? And is Blue Wolf like dog years? How is 90 days like a year? How am I the most senior on this project? Everybody's brand spanking new. So I don't know. It made me think of like the nominations and teaching and how much I do love to teach, and I do love to guide. I just was in a frosty place about it this morning because since they are overseas, I started receiving pings at 3:30, which I now know how to turn the notification sound and buzzer off on my Google Chat.
The things you learn.
Yeah. At 3 a.m. I was like, oh my God, how do I turn this off? So the teaching and the guiding and all that is fun, but it was at first, because, I don't really like to be woken up. Who does? They're like, can you give me more advice? No! It's 3 a.m. I hate everybody.
Okay, Batman.
I know. I'm sorry. Wow.
Speaking of teaching and learning.
Yeah.
We have some events coming up that we'll be at.
I know. Midwest Dreamin', Witness Success. We are so close to our inaugural event that I don't know if you did this with Southeast Dreaming. So yes, I'm excited, but mostly overwhelmed, kind of freaking out to the point where I haven't even booked my ticket. Like, it's happening. You need to acknowledge it. You need to get on board. You need to get on a plane. My goodness.
I haven't booked a ticket either. Amy Omlinger was like, when do you land? I was like, I haven't booked my ticket to Chicago.
Oh my God. I was like,
She's like, you and Melinda, man.
I know. I haven't bought my Midwest
I did book my hotel rooms because I got angry emails about missing deadlines. So I did it.
I did nothing. I got a couple texts that were like, hey, did you get an invitation to some dinner or luncheon? And I was like, no. But that is also because I haven't bought a damn ticket yet. It's like I'm trying to pretend August isn't going to happen.
Oh, it's coming.
It's going to happen.
It's a big one for this Kristi Guzman. So it's happening.
But Hopper tells me to wait. It keeps saying it's going to go down. So
I don't know.
Another Hopper.
I will be talking about lightning layouts at Midwest Dreamin', and you will be there just being your wonderful self, and stressing out about witness success. Yeah,
I'm there to support and be present, but definitely just
and have stickers, podcast stickers. So find us if you haven't gotten one before.
Do we have some?
I thought you got some.
No.
Oh. I mean, just kidding.
No, it's cool. Just add it to the list. It's cool. It's cool.
Someone
it literally
dropped the ball. I'm just kidding.
Anyways, note to self.
At Witness Success, you will be running around like a chicken with your head cut off, probably. I am doing a panel with some awesome women who I just realized I was supposed to send a meeting invite to discuss said panel. So I need to go do that after this.
This podcast, also known as Kristi and Melinda's to-do list.
Right? Oh, wait. Where was this list when I was planning my day? There'll be a panel about awesome admins who started as accidental admins. Actually, that's a lie. Accidental admins who now are something. It doesn't have to be an awesome admin. Some of them are consultants. Amber. Some of them are, work for Salesforce. Selena. We've also got Christina, who I need to learn where she's at. And we've got Carrie, I think. So awesome. It's going to be just great. And I'm going to have a meeting about it, so I will be much more together by the time it actually happens. So just ignore this and come.
Book a ticket.
Yes, tickets are important. We'll have the links to the events in the show notes. You can come to Ireland too. I'll just hang out with you in everywhere we go, and we'll just learn so much great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's been a while. I'm ready for. You had Trailhead X. I've been in a drought of actual
a learning drought.
My actual job and not my day to day, and not learning new fun things and meeting people and meeting people's bosses randomly and. Except I do have a story because it's all about me, so I'm going to continue talking. At the aforementioned makeup party, my friend has a friend who was there, and we played that like, you look familiar game. She works for a nonprofit called Mama Hope, which is awesome. They are transforming the way we achieve sustainable prosperity. So they help people build businesses
prosperity
in Africa. So it's basically like they want to foster the building of businesses in country with resources from the country that then support social entrepreneurs there so that it's supporting sustainable growth instead of just like throwing money at them and then once that's gone, then they have no continuation option. That's probably a horrible elevator pitch. But, of course, then I was like, oh, you work at a nonprofit. Do you use Salesforce? And she was like, yeah, we do. And I was like, shut up. We started a nonprofit user group in Charlotte. You should come. And she's like, wait, do you know Kelly Bentubo? And I was like, shut up. Yeah, I know Kelly Bentubo. She's like, I was at a user group meeting that she did. It was about Girl Scout cookies paired with beer. And so she came. The leader of the nonprofit user group they have someone in common, and someone else at the user group meeting they have something else in common work with. Like it was just like this total kismet of like, oh, you do blah blah blah. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's a small world after all. So it's
pretty awesome.
There's my segue. How are we doing on time here? Let's see. We're still talking.
Again, no filter, our to-do list.
You know.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're like 28 and 24.
Math.
Should we talk about super faves and mine are kind of silly because I thought of them offhanded, but we were talking prior to us recording.
Way to make
that
it creepy.
I realized, I don't set an alarm anymore. And I tried to have anxiety about it earlier this week because I'm like, oh my God, I should set an alarm. I should get up. But I don't have to. Like, I naturally wake up about 6:37 anyways. Though, with that being said, it's because the sunshine comes into my room and I'm very solar powered. So if the winter rolls around, I probably won't get up till like 9. But the point is, I love it. I don't have to. Like, I get up naturally early enough to get myself up, get coffee made, kind of get like the computer booted up, get the kiddo up. If Josh is home, to kind of divvy up feeding her, getting her ready or whatever. But I try to feel bad about it for like no good effing reason. I have no reason. I'm not missing anything. I'm not missing work. I'm not missing meetings. I'm not meditating, but that's another Oprah. But after I decided that no anxiety was necessary, that I love it. Like, I spent 3 years in California waking up at 4:45.
Anytime someone says California, I say knows how to party. Sorry.
No, I like it. I'm on board. Now I'll do it. It's a thing.
Trendsetter.
Getting up crazy early and getting ready and get Ollie to the sitter and then drive an hour and a half. So, like I said, I was like 3 hours into my day before I actually even sat at my computer. So this is nice. I am going to own it and I'm going to just be happy about it. And it's a super fave. So,
I mean, you've talked a lot about solar with your friend. You got friends running on solar power. You're running on solar power.
It's true. All of these things are very, very true.
One thing I am digging right now, just kidding, this is supposed to be called Super Faves. One of my Super Fave things is something new I just ordered. It is called Nuzzle. It is a GPS pet collar that does not have a monthly subscription because my beloved dog is an asshole and can jump fences. And you may recall a minor moment I had last week when he escaped. And so I realized I am not in a place in life that I can handle that. So I'm going to stalk the shit out of him. And what's really cool, as a company, and we'll link to it, they also are passionate about people having pet insurance. And so in their app, like, not only can I see if my dog has escaped with the geofence, which I feel like is very map nerdy, right? Geofencing. I know what that means. It does like how much time is he sleeping or playing or blah, blah, blah. But also will help you buy pet insurance, which I also feel like I need to do because even though he's clearly never going to die ever, because that would be sad. No. He's like 8. So, maybe.
It helps because those vet bills are expensive. He has to go in for stuff.
But he's going to be fine.
Do they have them for toddlers? Because I would put a chip in her ear.
I mean, it could be a bracelet.
And I'm telling you, just wear your heart outside your body when you make a human. And I just want to LoJack her on a regular. And she's fine now. I know where she is. But still, like, she's going to become a teenager and want to do things of her own accord.
She'll have a phone you can track by then. Whoa. She already has a cell phone. Don't lie.
I'm going to put a chip in her ear. I don't even care.
I definitely feel like there was either a Criminal Minds or a CSI. No, there was a whole series about a bus of kidnapped kids, and some of them had trackers in them. This is an awful story because I don't remember the name of the show. What else is faving on your side of the country?
Well, speaking of shows, toss it back to you. Thank you, Kristi. Speaking of shows, I've been binge watching Hulu. I finished Shut Eye, which was really great. It's the dude, Jeremy Donovan. I don't know. Jeff Donovan. Either way, the dude from Burn Notice. And it was about like tarot readers and gypsies in LA. And here's the weird thing. Like, living in California was kind of stressful, but now I find it, I'm a little romantic about it. When I see things on TV, I was like, oh, I used to live by there. So I finished that series. Really good. Really enjoyed it. And I also finished the Netflix series Friends from College.
It like just came out. How did you finish it already?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Josh is out of town.
I made a note to start watching it because I saw the billboard with the girl from How I Met Your Mother that I liked. And so...
Yep. Fred Savage
I like
is in
him
it,
too.
and he is by far my favorite. He's hilarious. It's great. It started with an undertone I wasn't totally prepared for and was like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But then I realized that, like, the point of this is it's, my age bracket, as we learned, not your age bracket, that life is messy and it's not straightforward and it's different.
We'll have to talk about exennials for everybody, but not right now.
Yeah, let's put that on notes. Anyways, I really enjoyed it. And now I'm in a show hole.
Sad.
Now I have to wait. I'm, Game of Thrones, obviously, but
ooh.
I know. But like,
did
I can't
you
binge
already
that.
try? Dang it! What is the name of that show that I recommended? I didn't know we were talking about a show hole. I was unprepared. It's called a C word that sounds like collateral, but it's not. Oh my God, this is an awful segue. Cut all this out. Okay, I'll get back to you on that. My last favorite thing is going to be real nerdy. I definitely had to take a homeowner financial prep course from my mortgage lender.
Did you have to take the course? Like, would they not give you a home if you didn't take this course?
No, it was recommended by my mortgage lender so they can help me put a little bit less money down, I think, and or help with my interest rate. But it ended up being really interesting, and I am nerdy, but I feel like there's so much. We talked about life skills with Tony, right? And so much of just knowing the 4 C's of credit and the process of who all these people are. I feel like when you sign a mortgage and you're just sign all this stuff, you just sign your name 8 million times, but hey, maybe you should actually know what all these things are for. And it just was really interesting. It was one of those where I went in oh my God, I have to do this thing and I don't want to do it, and then I'm oh, I didn't know that, and then I took notes because I'm a nerd. And so I won't say it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It's not I'm ooh, Saturday. Yeah. Homeowner scores. But, it was interesting.
Can you send it to me?
I can.
Is it an option?
I paid $75 to take it. So I doubt you're going to want to pay.
No, I could. So we're looking to buy a home, and the last home that I pseudo bought, it's when I bought my husband. So, I got a husband, a house, and a dog. It was a really good deal for me. Really good deal for me. But we are looking to buy again, and I just want to be smart about it. We've got a really great realtor and a really great lender. They're family friends. But I want to make sure that, maybe I'm asking the right questions or maybe I'm not. I don't say, oh, yeah, that sounds amazing, and then I didn't really mean it. So, yeah, send it to me.
Well, Melinda.
Yes.
It's been lovely.
Always.
I'm excited to see your face in Chicago. I think I don't know, again, not knowing how time works and our calendars work, I don't know if we'll record again before then. Or maybe we'll record there. If you can figure that out, let us know. I will say in an effort to adult a little bit more, Josh Hoskins posted a Chrome extension called FIO, Figure It Out. And what it does, when you open a new tab, it shows you what time it is in different locations. So literally I'm just going to super fave this too. When we were scheduling this and you were I can only do it after blah, blah, blah time, I literally opened a new tab and said, okay, and you can slide it. So it's currently 7:49 in my time zone, but I can slide it over and see when it was 4:49, it was 2:49 at your house. So
I love
that. And it's pretty.
Now, I'm expected to know that stuff and 24-hour clock because of Mr. Smith. But I love that. By the way, side note, I know we're trying to get off, but this is
what she said.
Hey. Josh, whatever. Josh, I got to spend a little bit of time with him at the karaoke junket. I'm calling it a junket. Trailhead Dicks. He cracks me up and is my new fave. So shout out, Josh.
Hey, he hosts demo jams all over the place, including online. I think I missed it today. But Yeah, he's super great. Little world traveler.
Definitely missed that.
It's fun to watch him being all over the place. Thanks, Ohana.
Thanks, Ohana. Hashtag Ohana love.
Have a lovely, however long.
Do the damn thing.
What's my name? Stay witty.
Woohoo! And we're out.